Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
Yes, ahoy, matey.
Love. Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé.
Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown.
90-day fiancé.
Marrying someone you only met on your phone.
Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love.
It's reality game. Let's
love.
B-L-I-N-G. Don't you do that. We can't sing at the same time, you bitch.
Y'all, we're remote.
We are remote yet goat. Someone's in
are.
Oklahoma again. Again, I've questioned his father's cancer from the beginning.
Oh boy, he was in a because he had an infection, he had pneumonia, so it made him cuckoo, and he was out on a ventilator for a week and almost died again. And so now has a memory that lasts about 3 seconds. So it's every 5 minutes of, okay, let's go. All right, let's go. And he'll just get his walker and just start walking out the door in his hospital bed with his ass just flopping in the breeze.
Could you have a whiteboard that says, "You're in the hospital, dumbass, and you're going to stay there"?
Well,
you know what? Maybe that's my version of how things should go.
I feel sorry for your parents already because,
How was I in hospital?
You were actually, you do get paranoid on that drug. Like, yeah, Haldol. And so I remember you were, I don't know if I've ever told you this before. I don't think it'll embarrass you. If it does, I'll edit it out because it is your personal stuff. But I saw your junk so much because you were so paranoid that you were like shitting in your pants and you weren't, but you have y'all, when you're out like that, I learned that, first of all, when they're taking the catheter and everything out, it just feels weird, but also you're just getting sensory back. Yeah. So you keep feeling like you pooped your pants.
I don't remember any of that.
I would try to talk to you. This is before you could talk. This is when you still like had the breathing thing in, but were awake. And you would like point down to your crotch and I'd have to lift up your blankets and look at your junk and make sure you didn't go to the bathroom.
You're so in love with me. And I'm uncomfortable. So I'm going to need you to really work on those feelings. It's going to really threaten our professional relationship.
I didn't care, y'all. I don't. If people around me wouldn't be bothered, I'm fine with nakedness. I'd be naked all the time. I don't care. I'll make a sex tape. Y'all can see it. You don't want to.
Nope, I don't. I don't ever want to see that.
I wouldn't because of my mother.
I don't want to see that.
My mother would call me and say, "Matthew, I just saw a video. And don't you think that was some heavy petting?"
My mother would call me and say, "Jay Bird, call. Someone says they have a sex tape of you. Is that true? Would you do something like that? I can't even believe you would do that."
I think my mom would cry.
I'm a little upset because I'm sure in the heat of the moment, a guy's like, "Yeah, can I take video of this?" I'm like, "Of course you can."
Oh, there might be clips out there. I'm not going to lie, but I mean like a full.
I'm certain there are.
Oh, I watch them. I make sure that you never see my face.
Well,
do you not do that?
I'm still worried that Piano Cat 77's got some stuff out there. Ooh.
Oh well.
You can't ever see Piano Cat 77's face.
Y'all, before we jump into somebody who would have
this is reality gaze.
Yes, it's a reality gaze. 90 Day Fiance. This episode is episode, I think 9.
Episode, I don't even know.
I don't know.
You So Bad Boy, Part 2.
You So Bad Boy, Part 2.
It is the most unprofessional thing in the world to not announce the name of your show within the first 4 minutes.
It's true. It's true. Y'all, if you're new to the show, my name is Matt Marr, a.k.a. Maddie, and my co-host is Jake Anthony.
Yeah.
Jake Anthony, a.k.a. Poodle.
Hello. Y'all, we need to tell you about something called Bling Empire.
That's what we were singing. I have to say, Poodle did it again. I think this is maybe our most well-received theme song.
Yes, people have been coming at us about this theme song. I'm very happy about it.
This or Too Hot to Handle probably people are the most excited about.
The rapping, strangely.
Strangely.
I do get to show my street side.
We do. Anyway, y'all, we also are enjoying talking about the show. For our listeners, the first we were going to do the 2, but we just really had fun on the 3rd episode, and we thought let's post the first 3 episodes on the free podcast, and there's still 8 episodes altogether, so we'll just put the other 5 behind the Patreon wall. So right now, the first 3 episodes are up. And episode 4 is up on the Gatreon. We also, in this, because we wanted to, we've been wanting to do more collabs anyway, and it was just, we were kind of dealing with life last year and, being sued. And, yeah. And so.
We finally stopped skull fucking us, y'all.
That's done. That's done, finally. But we wanted to do more collabs, and especially since this show is about Asian and Asian Americans living in Los Angeles, we are not. We do not have that experience. So we purposely have reached out to.
I know that's shocking.
Shocking.
For you guys.
We've had a lot of Asian in us. Because we don't discriminate who we fuck.
No.
But anyway, so we have several podcasters who are joining us. We had episode 2
was the host of the podcast Add to Cart, Kulat Vilaysack and Suchin Pak, and it was an amazing conversation. You guys need to check out their podcast. It's all about consumerism and what we are buying right now, what we should drop, what we should add to our cart, what we should remove from our cart.
And it sounds serious, but it's not. They're funny and they're
so much fun,
and they're friends, and so they have a good relationship. And
I knew Kulop was funny, you guys, because she did bajillion dollar properties. She did Who Charted. And so I was prepared for that.
Suchin fucking brought it.
I did not expect Suchin Pak to crack Kulop up as much and just be so much fun.
She was great.
And of course, I had to ask her about Kurt Loder.
Y'all, because she's from MTV fame. So
yeah,
MTV News. And it's funny how she would talk about stuff and say, I did a little bit of digging, and she would actually talk in like an authoritative, credible way. Whereas we get an Instagram message from someone who says, yeah, y'all shouldn't talk about facts because y'all don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, we never said we were.
Suchin is a journalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not. So we have some other interviews coming up, several with other podcasters. Can
we announce those, or should we?
Well, sure. We're going to be talking.
Let's announce it.
We're talking with the fellas from Asian Not Asian.
Asian Not Asian, and that with Mike and Fumi.
Yes.
That's the podcast Asian Not Asian. It's 2 comics who talk about kind of an Asian American's view of what is Asian and what is not Asian about being an Asian American. And so they're going to have a lot to say, I'm sure. And we also have a stand-up comedian and a friend of ours, Melanie Maras, or Maris, I believe is how she pronounces it.
Yeah, I've just known her name Melanie, and I've never really.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and we're like
when
a friend.
I say her last name, it's weird.
Well, no, I know her from Melanie because we're mutual friends with Lynn and Don McCoy. So I've seen her anyway. So yeah. I honestly knew her as a person, and then didn't know that she did all the stand up. And so we kind of dug into this. And I was like, oh my God. So she's hilarious. So we're going to have her. And we also are having a very special guest. And
I might not be able to sleep tonight.
It's we're not going to say the name, and we're not being dicks. We're
afraid she's going to back out.
We're afraid she's going to back out because she's way more famous than anybody we've ever interviewed.
I booked it today, and I was nervous when I pressed send.
We're very excited No, shocker alert. It's not Michelle Obama.
It's not Darcy.
It's not Darcy.
God, I
But
wish.
anyway, it's somebody that we have been a fan for a long time, and we're super excited about. So,
And you'll be shocked that she agreed to come on our little shit show.
Yeah.
I still don't know how.
I don't know how either.
Our person at our agency helped us out to facilitate things, and we went through some assistants and PR people.
Shout out to Sarah at ACAST who helped us out with that. So anyway,
and me who organized it, you bitch.
Sure, let's pat ourselves on the back in front of and on our own show. That feels good. Jesus. So anyway, y'all,
excited. Like Sarah arranged it all, but I arranged it.
So the Bling Empire, the way it's going to work, again, after episode 4, they go on the Patreon. However, all of the interviews with other podcasters are going to go all on the free feed.
The free feed.
So anyway, so that's that. Let's and so the finale, season part 2 of the finale, Southern Charm, is going to be explosive, and that airs on Thursday. So therefore, our Sweet Tea episode will go up on Friday,
like a messy cum shot.
So be sure to check that out.
I'm hopefully your dick has never made that sound.
Every time. Yeah, yellow. Usually it's like hello, my honey. Hello, my darling. Anyway, so we got that, and then I don't think any other announcements. I think we can jump into the show, right?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh,
we're doing the Crappies tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, no, we're doing the Crappies Thursday night. You're right. We're doing the Crappies Thursday night.
Thursday night, it's going to be a live show. Watch what crappens. They do awards every year, the Crappies. What is our category again? Category is
Best non-Bravo show that they covered.
So that's what we'll be doing. Yes, tune in for us, but you should tune in for everybody because it's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Let's talk about
that's it.
Let's talk about a relationship that's not a lot of fun. Jovi and Yara. Speaking of somebody that has a sex tape, y'all, Jovi's is out there.
Oh yeah, I love Yara more and more.
I do too, actually.
I think this is 10 days after she talked to Sarah, the bad friend.
Yes.
And we had people coming at us and saying, well, Sarah's just trying to let Yara know what happened. And I'm like, no, Sarah has tried to bang Jovi before.
Yeah.
That was my first thought.
I don't feel like it's girl code. I feel like it's not just.
No, it's just shitty. You stay in your lane. You don't give a shit about Yara.
Yes.
You don't even know her.
You don't give a shit about Yara.
So then that's happened 10 days ago. She is meeting the mom, Gwen, and the aunt, Renette.
Renette. Hi, my name's Renette. I love that name.
I wish it's not necessarily. It's like, it's Renette. Yeah, I'm going to talk about my Jovi.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't. It's like suddenly you sound like
You got to meet your mom.
You sound like a voice actor from The Frog Prince.
Princess and the Frog, but yeah,
close.
Princess
and the Frog. So anyway, we find out something I never knew this, where she's talking to them, and she talks about how engagement rings are worn on the right hand
in the Ukraine.
Yes.
And it's only on the left if you.
Sorry, I don't know what just
the loudest thing I've ever heard that your computer or phone just made.
I don't know. It says a reminder of chirology. I don't know what chirology is.
This is not something we should be talking about.
Anyway,
can you mute that in any way?
I did. It's fine. Can we? Yes, it's fine.
So yes, in Ukraine, you wear your wedding ring on the right hand, unless this is what Yara said anyway, unless you're divorced or someone has passed. So that's interesting.
There you go. And so she also talks about how she still wants to get married in Vegas and that we want to get married there.
And Gwen's like, we still need to talk about the wedding, Sha.
Oh,
you gotta have it. You gotta have a goddamn gathering. That's what we keep.
Yara's like,
it's in our kitchen nature.
It don't need to. And
No, we gonna have a party. We're gonna have you gotta have a drink.
Really, we're not going. I want my family wedding there. Yes, my family's not there, so that'd be hurtful for them. Then the aunt comes in with and says, "Well, you got to be talking about. You can't. Someone proposed for you before. What's happened to Cha?"
What the fuck did you just say? I did not understand it.
Someone proposed to Yara before they find out.
Yes, and
she said 3 to 4 months after someone proposed to her, she met Jovi.
And Mom's like, she's a
nice. I did not know someone else who proposed to you before.
She's a nice girl, but oh, that's interesting. I wonder if Jovi knows that she was previously engaged.
Yeah, Mom's gonna put the kibosh on this. And she's like, and Mom's like, I am very concerned because I think Ukrainian women just want to get to America. So it's a problem.
It's a problem for her.
The next scene, Yara is just walking through New Orleans with a solo saxophone playing. Song played on a solo saxophone. Do you know what that's from?
Miss Saigon, right?
Yes. Song on a solo saxophone.
I know that because Vicky Gelona at Brass Ring Theater was sang that in the Broadway's Tops concert. Y'all, I love Vicky Gelona and her son Nick. They're part of the theater that we gave to the Brass Ring Theater.
I assume she sang that as a white person and not an Asian person.
No, she sang as a white person. I do remember when we did Showboat though, and she put on a lot of Seth tenor and played Julie. Hey y'all.
Really?
Well, you should have seen when they did the production of South Pacific. Everyone had just fake orange wrist and orange. Yeah.
What? This is a problem in small areas when you don't have a lot of diversity. But I would just say, just don't do those pieces. Don't choose those pieces.
Well,
So she's walking the streets. She's lonely. She's going to the gym. She also says she's been feeling sick a lot. Ding, ding, ding. Remember that for later.
So she calls her friend,
Lara,
and she says, like, they have the most boring conversation ever. Hello, how are you? She's like, can you have
she is my best friend. I love her so much.
You love her. Okay. The weather's beautiful here. You're missing everything. And she's like, oh, and she's like, I'm so sorry you're depressed. And she's like, I just feel tired and I want to sleep and I feel gross. And she was like, you're pregnant, right?
What if you're pregnant?
And y'all was like, what?
And she said, we've been careful. He's always pulled out and came on my tits.
Yeah, he always, yeah.
Y'all, Jovi's never worn a condom.
Never.
Even when a girl says you got to put on a condom, he'll have a condom and like try to take it off. He's that gross person.
He is.
Or he would just reject a condom so much.
That's, yeah.
Ugh. Anyway, so she's thinking she might be pregnant, and it's terrifying for her.
Yes.
She doesn't want to be a mom right now.
Yeah.
That's all I have about those two.
Yeah, before we jump into that, I want to, y'all, we don't normally talk about a lot of this, but I feel like this is so pertinent. One of our sissies came at us in our sissy squad and gave us a little bit of hot tea. And she said, I can't name my source, but in another group, someone knows Betty and Ron, aka Brandon and Julia's parents. And she says that, quote, they are swingers and they go on swinger cruises. They bought the farm for doomsday prep. Because I guess they're Qers.
They're QAnons.
QAnon. Yeah. So, and Betty works in HR and often shows up at 11 a.m. because of the farm. Y'all, imagine Betty getting onto you in HR. That is fucking real. It says she gets packages delivered there a lot because she doesn't want Ron to know that she shops a lot. And we called it, Ron owns a car dealership.
Yep.
And anyway, and they're also, their farm is like way, way, way out there. And Betty is as obsessed with Brandon as she appears on TV.
I received a similar message to confirm this.
Oh, okay.
So, and someone swore me to secrecy about it. So I can't say who it is, but this.
Well, we just told it.
This is getting out. Yeah, this is getting out there.
We normally don't talk about tea on the show, but we can't stand them, and they seem like horrible fake people.
And I want them to go down because they're awful, and they're making Julia feel ridiculous for just not wanting to be a slave laborer at this fucking farm that's making no money.
I really hope Julia doesn't end up marrying him. Do you think she will?
I hope she leaves. I don't know. They can't say anything for the sake of the show right now.
But maybe she'll, or well, I don't. I think she actually loves him. But if she does want a green card, I hope she gets hers and fucking leaves. But I think she loves him.
I hope I think if he gets away from, he's not a good person, but maybe if he gets away from the parents, he'll be a little bit better and they can kind of grow together.
Yeah, I don't know. Remember he made a video like mocking slavery.
Oh, so awful.
Yeah. Yeah. So I kind of feel like when somebody's doing that, they're pretty far gone. Yeah. Let's do
Mike and Natalie.
Let's talk about some other problematic people for other reasons. Okay. We were like 3/4 of the way through this episode. We watched it together and I was like, wow, there's nothing.
We haven't had a lot of Mike and Natalie.
And then the last 10 minutes were riveting.
Holy fuck, y'all. This has been the biggest 180 that we have seen in a while.
The biggest.
They've been holding this back. The producers in the show have been holding this back till this moment.
It sounds so sweet because at first it's starting Natalie. She's petting the cat more. She's like grabbing the cat. She's brushing it. She's like, I've been here for a month and we haven't talked about how I treat Mike in Ukraine and how I give him a ring back. So today,
have not discussed ring and fight yet.
So today I'm going to look for a ring.
My precious, my precious, I'm going to look for the ring. What are you doing?
That's what Gollum does. He's always like,
my precious, I need the ring.
You know, who we need to have on the show, Sean Pulaski, does the best fucking Gollum impression. We need to have her on.
Thank you for discounting mine, though.
It was fine.
I'll accept fine. My
precious. Okay, it's just crazy when you do it.
Okay. Anyway, so
I wish they would have played the fucking Lord of the Rings theme whenever Natalie was looking for this ring.
So yeah, she looked.
I just wanted to be like.
So she was like, "It's not in smelly closet.
It's not in smelly closet. I don't have a ring in it. The ring from Mike in it makes me feel insecure and uncomfortable. To me, the ring means he still loves me.
Wow. And yes, she's left all alone to her own devices at home, but I think production hates her because she's been given a really bad edit. Because we're laughing, y'all, because papers just fell off of my desktop onto my face, and it scared me.
They scared me.
Oh, you scared me.
You scared me. Oh God,
that show needs to come back.
God bless Mother.
Where were we?
So she basically says, she's like, I chose him. I came for him. So, and she's like, maybe he wants to show his message. I don't know. So she's going and looking for everything, and she doesn't find the ring. And then she's building a fire, and she's just
warming her feet.
I just think Natalie is odd. I think she's just and I don't mean this in a negative way. I think she's just I think she was probably like a weird kid, and I think she's just kind of odd. And so she's just having to entertain herself a lot, and she's just kind of not great left alone.
For me, it's not that at all. For me, the only response and the only way she can live is in crisis. She thrives on living in some type of drama.
I agree that she's probably had very anxious times, and so feeling anxious and
That's
feeling
normal.
like things are feel normal, so she needs to feel normal, which is that.
Yeah.
And being at peace feels so outside of her body. She doesn't even know how to do it.
She can't even do that. Yeah. That's where I think it is.
I think there's a lot of that. So Mike comes home and suddenly we hear, honey, I'm home and I had a hard day. Pour me a cold one to do by the way.
And she sings it, and I'm like, what song is that?
Everybody knows Shania Twain on the planet, and the fact that you don't know that makes you an idiot.
What song is that?
It's Shania Twain.
But was that a single that was released?
Yes, and it was popular.
What's the name of it? I don't know. Y'all, come at me if you know that Shania Twain song. We do not Reality Gaze does not endorse this. We do not have the rights to this song.
That's the song.
This was the single?
Yes. Look. This job ain't worth the pay. And play to the end of the day. Hey, hon, I'm on my way. Hey. You never heard that?
No, I haven't. But strangely enough, Natalie does not want to pour him a cold one because she accuses him of being a drunk and yells at him later.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a country song. So y'all, Mike comes home and he's already worn down. He's coming home late, and someone even posted in the Sissy Squad of him just making that same face. When I say he always makes that same face, the face that they posted of him just going with his bottom lip kind of up and him just kind of shrugging. That's it, y'all. And so he's already beat down, and Natalie says,
I make you shrimps? And he's like, yeah, some pasta. And she's like, no, rice, because I don't want you to gain weight. Already starts in.
And Mike's like, I just want stir fry. And she's like, okay, but
Go fry. We're not going to fry anything.
He's like, but I just want stir fry. He's like, you don't fry stir fry. It's just in a stir fry. And she says, okay, but you don't lose weight. You never lose weight.
This could be a language thing, but Jesus fucking Christ.
This is not a language thing, because the way she said it had resentment behind it.
Really bad, you guys.
And she tries to kiss him, and he's like, I don't want to kiss right now.
And she says, he's like, I'm definitely drinking a beer tonight. And
she said, no more alcohol. And he's like, I'm having one. And she's like, I wish you drink water. And he's like, I wish you would have a beer with me. And my mouth dropped when he said that.
She says, lose 10 pounds. Or she says to him, lose 10 pounds and we'll talk. Or 10 kilos and we'll talk.
It's already, the honeymoon is over.
Y'all.
They do hate one another. And I don't really think either of them loved one another. I think they both love just the idea of one another. And I do think Natalie wants to come to the U.S. I do think that's a large part of this. I think she wants to live in the U.S.
She does want a baby, and she does want to come to the U.S. Yeah.
I do think that. I don't think that's necessarily our only reason. I think she probably would tell you she loves Mike, but I think she loves the idea of him, because I agree. The way that here's the deal, y'all. Poodle and I have talked about this before. A lot of sissies that came at us and said that they felt really triggered by Natalie because of her disordered eating and her behavior and the way she shames Mike about food. And we're not defending Mike. I actually think he's a kind of a gross person too.
The same kind of passive behavior where you kind of wind up egging it on because you never actually state your own point of view. And you let the other person do it all.
And I think he is making Natalie. He's the worst for Natalie because they're the worst for each other, because she needs someone that always she feels like is making space for them in their life. And Mike doesn't. It's not even like a selfishness. It's just, I think he's just like fucking lazy.
Yeah, he just doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it, and he's just like,
I don't think he has it in him.
I don't think he has it in him at all. And he's just kind of like,
it's a dumb country girl.
And do you think do you think he did have a little bit of like, I'm going to get myself a Russian wife kind of a thing?
Yes, because I think he thinks he's exceptional and he's not.
Yes, you guys, he thinks he was abducted by aliens. That's true. I think Mike thinks I'm special. Y'all, you're not any more special than anybody. We're all special. Stop.
Later on, he's basically saying, well, she says, I'm looking for the ring today. And he's kind of like enjoying it. He's like, did you find the ring? And he's like, yeah, kind of got to pay the bills. So I sold the ring. And now they're just fucking with each other. They're just hate fucking each other with their words at this point.
Oh, yeah, because they get into
I wrote down, this is awful and toxic.
yeah, and he's like, and she's like, I feel like I'm here for a month and nothing has changed. And and Mike said, yep, I made it real special for you. And I'm like, you did not. You're gaslighting her. You did nothing for her. And she's like, but we don't have respect for one another, and I don't get that from you.
And then, y'all, she pulls out the big guns because she's done with her passive aggressive. It's time for straight up aggro. Here we go. Here are the nukes. And she's like, how much is your IQ? Minus high, I was told 110. First of all, that's medium. That's kind of intelligent.
Well, Mike says, don't know. I never took one. And then Natalie says, have you ever been to museums?
Have you been to museums?
He's like, I've been to the Louvre with you. She's like, you went with me. That does not count. You acted way different then.
Bad, you guys. This is bad. If this was reversed, not to say that I'm not saying, just think about if this was a man saying this to a woman.
Yes.
Just take that.
Yes. And she says, well, you're just do you know
you're low class.
Do you know low class? You're low. And Mike, that's when Mike finally, because Mike is always so just like, whatever, I don't do this either. Water off the dustbin. Nothing bothers me, but I'm really just going to gaslight you and be passive aggressive. And he actually says, what do you know about low class? And the producer even says, and actually when she said that, I went, oh, he's done. I think that is a moment where he is done. But now, for the rest of this relationship, he is not going to still have the balls to actually stand up and have a spine and break up with her. He's going to let her just sit in this shit and make her feel like shit and let her spin in this. And then ever be like, I don't know why she was why it didn't work out. It was all her fault. I didn't do anything. I'm such a nice guy.
Yeah, it's really awful. But she just keeps going, and she's like, I'm low class. She says, you're drunken now. Don't touch me. I'm afraid of you. Oh my God. Just like, she's not afraid of him. Let's maybe in her mind she is.
We don't know what Natalie has been through. So
that is true. You know what? That is exactly, you're exactly
her
right.
Experience could be triggered by him. However, we have not seen. I don't think, just from my little bit of experience and professional experience of counseling and but I don't think Mike would be physically abusive of her because he's so just meek,
so passive.
But that said, there are people that is the game. They act that way, and then they could have a surprising side. However, though, she is. I think in that moment, y'all, you have to remember, Natalie never forgets that she's on a camera.
That is, I will agree with you.
Someone who has an Instagram that looks like hers, which is just fucking filters and pictures of her over and over. Someone that self-involved does not forget that there's a camera in front of them. And even the producer called her and said, "Do you provoke Mike?" And she's like, "Yes." So then she ends up. When he does call her, she says, "You're a low-class drunk man." And then Mike's like, she thinks everything's so bad around here, so low class. And then Mike then comes back and he's like, "Please," she's like, "I don't like the way you cut." And he's like, "What? Explain this to me with your high IQ." It's bad. And Mike because Mike keeps fixating on that. He's like, well, what class do you fit in? What makes you better than anyone else?
Right. He does say that. And she says at the end, I feel like I'm going home soon.
You think?
And I would really encourage you guys, not that I'm all about reversing the sexes here, but really think about this, because we can understand kind of why Natalie does things, but damn, can you imagine what would have happened if Natalie had been male and said that thing to a female mic? Also, a female mic is a very interesting thing to think about.
I don't want to think about any version of Mike. But yes, it was, y'all, they're done. If they end up getting married, this is the stupidest decision of their lives.
If they end up getting married, the whole season's been fabricated. That's all I've got to say. Some people have said they are married.
If they are, then bitch just wants a green card, or that's really, really fake.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a real shame.
Yeah.
Can we move on to something strangely more entertaining?
We should, but before we do that, we should take
commercial break.
Yes, we'll be right back, y'all.
So Andrew's eating a hamburger in Puerto Vallarta alone. And there's no one in this restaurant, y'all. I hear the ticking of the clock. I'm lying here. The room is pitch dark. So,
y'all, if you haven't heard Celine sing Alone,
don't get me started.
Oh my God.
So it's been 48 hours since
40 what?
48 hours. 48 hours.
48. Son of a bitch, I can't find my fiance in a Mexican detention center.
Son of a bitch. I missed her so much this week.
But y'all, next week I think Stephanie's meeting Ryan from Ladyville, Belize.
My fiance Ryan from Ladyville, Belize.
It's gonna be good.
What a joy. What a gift is.
Gift. Mwah. Mwah. Stephanie will love you.
It's been 48 hours since she was detained. He's eating a burger. Someone online called him Gross Malone, and I can't stop laughing.
Oh man. Y'all, first of all, I wanted to say this poor cameraman was so bored. And then I went, wait a minute. Is there even a cameraman here? Because it's like he and Amira have filmed all of their scenes by themselves with cell phones that were sent to them. It's the weirdest thing. Like, y'all, when we did the Bling Empire crossover with Suchin Pak, she said, I can't get into 90 Day Fiance because that show never has a steady shot and it costs $1.45 to make.
Because Suchin's lived it, y'all. She's lived it like reality journalism.
She has.
Thank you for having a coughing fit on the.
Sorry, I thought I pressed the mute button and I didn't.
So anyway, 5 hours later, this is riveting television. She's online. He goes, oh my God, she's online.
She's online.
Like, baby, are you okay? Hi, baby. And it turns out, unemotionally, she's on a plane to Amsterdam. She never made it out of the airport. And she says it's still hard for me to talk about.
Y'all have come at us with that detention centers are not nice.
Well, because we weren't sure because we know the condition of detention centers at the border. We didn't know what the Mexican detention centers were like, and they're not good. They're prison like. That's what we've heard.
They are prison like, and so she's saying that she never made it outside the airport. They took her right away. She was there for 3 days, and Amira's put back on the plane, and she's recording this in the bathroom when she finally got to her hotel with the producer talking to her, and she has a phone set up in a weird position, recording it, crying while she's holding her blush brush.
So let's not minimize her pain, but you are right. She is very interested in putting on.
Bitch is ready. She's still going to beat her face, and so, but she said
very important to her.
Oh, it is, and and her lips are huge now. She's gotten such big lip injections, but she said that Andrew just talked to her then, but didn't message her again at all. He didn't ask if she had made it. if she had landed at the hotel, if she'd been to the hotel. And she said basically it was a big space like a prison cell, and that there were toilets but no toilet paper, and that she didn't shower for 3 days.
Ugh.
And then she's crying and saying, she said, I had no dignity.
Yep. And she said she did not want to go to Mexico, that Andrew pushed it. And he said, I'm always doing things for you. Why can't you do this for me? Sound familiar? Sounds something like Andrew would do. Gross.
Y'all, watching Andrew in his hotel room, waiting for her, recording himself talking on a cell phone, it just reminded me of like a gamer who keeps refreshing to buy a PlayStation 5. Like, that's where his stress is on this.
It's such a narcissistic moment. So gross. Anyway, she's still upset. She can't stop crying. It was a really bad moment for her. And I said this before, you guys. French people who aren't French, who are immigrants there, unless you're from a French-speaking colony of France or from some kind of territory of France, you have a hard time. There's a lot of racism in France, especially outside big cities. And so I'm sure she's had a rough time of it.
Yeah.
And she can't stop crying. She says, I want to heal. And she says, will Andrew understand? I have doubts.
But she said, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I need to sleep and move on.
Yeah. That's all I have about this. Was just such a sad moment for this story.
It's such a roller coaster, so to speak, of Andrew makes me laugh and is so just laughable. And then Amira, I'm just like, oh God, this is sad.
He's ridiculous.
Y'all, it's Tarzal.
Tarzal, my little princess. I can't believe you did that, because I was literally going to sing doo 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 doo. We have been doing this too long.
Can you read my mind?
It's Tarzal, the sixth daughter of Tevye. Now, I was incorrect when someone brought it out to me, because I was saying that Tevye had 3 daughters. Tevye actually has 5 daughters, and I'd forgotten. I'd never actually done this musical. I've only coached people in this musical, and the only time I've coached them were for the 3 daughters. And because the other 2 daughters are younger, Sprinza and Bielka. And I remember now saying, because I've seen the movie, there are 5 daughters, but they sing very little. And they're the younger daughters. So I think Tarzal is right around the middle. She's probably a little younger than Chava. But
I'm glad you've done a character analysis.
I thought a lot about this. And so Tarzal is always in the back, kind of mopping with a scarf on her head. She's going out. That hump is quite prominent.
She's got very bad teen acne. It's just bad.
But you know what? She's the smartest of all of them.
Oh, yes.
Sadly, she will probably meet a Cossack and fall in love, because none of the girls in Fiddler do well.
No.
Sadly. So let's talk about Tarzal. Tarik and Hazel, y'all.
You're going out to eat.
And it's the first time we mentioned coronavirus, I believe.
I think on this
version.
This season.
Yeah. So this is probably the last thing to be taped.
Yes. And so they're well, no, that's not true. We've heard about through Andrew and Amira.
Oh, you're right.
This is the first time we've seen people like wearing masks and I think like that.
Yes.
So they're dealing with they're trying to deal with corona and everything, but Tarik is like, this might get worse. I hope not. Spoiler alert. So they're like, let's go look at Virginia. Spoiler alert. It'll last for 2 years. They're gonna go to Virginia Beach, and
they live. Don't they live there?
Yeah, they're gonna. I mean, he's gonna show her Virginia Beach. He's like, before it gets weird. And so Hazel even says, which is something. She's like, in the Philippines, everyone wears masks all the time. It's not seen as a weird thing. So they go to this restaurant and they're sitting. They sit down and they go to eat. And there was a conversation, and I don't remember it because, y'all, Tarik is wearing a backwards hat.
Oh,
and you know what happens to me.
stop!
You know what happens when a guy wears a backwards hat. I just talked about it in Justin of season 2 of our classic 90-Day Gay Trio.
I find him so problematic. I find him with that hot sauce song is awful. I don't like him. Anyway,
I would blow his dick like a baby beluga coming out of the sea with that backwards hat.
Beluga. I find him, even though I said last when you said if you'd fuck him right, I'm like, oh yeah, especially right now. She's looking out on the beach. She's like, oh, lots of sexy girls. So they do talk a little bit about her wanting a girl in their relationship. Again, I can't believe we have to keep saying this, but we do. The fact that Hazel says she's bisexual means she's bisexual. So, because that's what she says she is.
Yeah, y'all, she's not a lesbian.
Yeah. However,
who cares? She says she's bisexual. Believe her.
Her terms about what she thinks bisexuality is might not be that accurate, because what she's thinking is that the relationship with Tarik, she can be bisexual and either not act on those feelings or act on those feelings. However, being in a relationship that is with more than one person is polyamory. And I think that's what she's talking about. We had this discussion. It's just exhausting that we have to talk about it. And the producers of this show are making us talk about it.
They're not doing a great job. You know, we had some comments in our Sissy Squad about this, and this is what I don't care about her sexuality. What I am more interested in is, you know, you kind of wonder, like, is Hazel really into Tarik? And we had a Filipino sissy talk about how, like, the experience of where Hazel is from is not necessarily a good area of the Philippines, and that she said, in her opinion, I feel like she does want a better life for herself and her son. And she said, and I feel like she tolerates Tarik, and she probably maybe is grown to love him, but I don't think that's her first choice. Now, are we saying that she's gay and lying to a man? No, we're not saying that. It has nothing to do with her sexuality. I'm saying that I think that she's kind of spot on with this. I mean, it's hard to tell with Hazel. I think that I almost feel like sometimes Hazel says things like, oh, this friend gave me a present. I've had a friend never given me a present. I almost wonder, like, what even is Hazel's definition of love? Can she feel love like the way Tarik, like, you know what I mean? Like that,
they're talking in different languages, like literally.
Yeah.
They're coming from such a different places. Yeah.
Because it's privilege for you to be able, it is privilege for you to be able to say, oh, I just want to fall in love and meet somebody that I love forever and be devoted to them. And
it is privilege to marry for love. Let's just say that.
Yeah. And I think
in a lot of the world, it is a privilege to marry for love.
Especially for women.
Yep.
A lot of women are told who to marry and they have to do it. So I feel like for Hazel, she just has a different, more, you've used this word with other people, I think she probably has a more transactional way of thinking about money.
I totally agree.
Marriage.
Yeah. I think he does also say, so she says that about the women, she says about the women that are out there. He's like, well, you can pick from all kinds here. But she's like, you know, I love Thai American women. That's my thing. And I'm thinking, you know, let her fucking choose whatever she wants. Your idea of that you have a voice in any kind of polyamorous relationship, it's gross to me.
It just seems a little. It brings up concerns about perceptions and race and sexualizing people of it. Because, like, look, yes, I've dated a lot of black guys, and we've talked about it on the show. We've talked about poodles, dated a lot of Latin guys. But like I talked about Bling Empire, we've had my asshole has been like a small world. I mean,
I'm an equal opportunity slut.
equal. And I do think that's an odd thing to say.
It is.
It made me feel like when he said that, like if my boyfriend, and I actually would think about, like if my boyfriend said, hey, I want to be in an open relationship, I wouldn't be like, well, it better be another black guy. Because that feels, for me, that feels racist to say that.
Mhm.
It feels sexualizing people. And you're right. I wouldn't say that. I would be like, okay. And I mean, do I get a voice in like hopefully being attracted to this person of wealth where I'm going to be in a sexual relationship? Yes, but maybe not. It just felt like, oh, he's trying to fulfill a fantasy.
Exactly. He's trying to fulfill his own fantasy with trying a little bit to include hers.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
And it's gross, y'all. I'm not a fan of his. We know that. I think it's all fetishizing Asian women. I think it's gross. I don't like him. I don't like his brother. The whole family can go fuck themselves as far as I'm concerned.
I do like him, and then he does shit like this, and I go, ooh.
Yep, I know.
It's hard. Then I think about him with his backward hat and his arms, and I'm like,
yeah, it's hard for you to see anything. I know. One day you'll get away from that. So she says, we have an ex, Minty, and this is when we find out what happened. She was jealous because they were speaking Thai in front of her, and she did not know it, and she got very upset. And she saw a text from Minty Minty, as he said. Minty on his phone. And he was talking about, he's like, I was texting her because I was worried about her and the virus. And she's like, why didn't you tell me? That's what I don't like about all this. So
look, I've fucked a lot of people that I still know and I'm friends with, like on Facebook or their Instagram or whatever, that kind of stuff. I'm not asking them how they're doing with coronavirus. Like, yes, like I have a guy that I used to date who now lives in Paris. Like when there was like the Paris bombings and things like that, I actually went onto his profile, made sure he was okay, saw that he posted a post. I still didn't message him.
I'm like, are you coming back here to fuck me? I think that's the show, y'all.
Is that what we're ending the show on? Jesus.
Tarzal. You wanted to end it on Tarzal.
No, but I mean, yeah, that's true.
I milk my little cow.
Oh.
She's my best friend that I have.
Y'all, speaking of tradition, we have a tradition. We either haven't had any or we've forgotten. But y'all, we forgot.
Sissy Spotlight.
Sissy Spotlight.
I hate that theme.
So, y'all, this is our point where if you're in the Gatreon in our Gatreon, you at the which is it the come at us tier?
Yeah,
you can call in and leave a voicemail on our
rant. You can pop off.
Rant. And so we haven't listened. As always, we choose these. We haven't listened to them, so we're gonna listen to this Sissy Spotlight right now.
Connect for you automatically. English service. English service is busy right now.
目前英文客服忙线中，转至普通话服务，请按9。
Now that's our best we've ever had.
Y'all, we keep it real here. We keep it real.
That I'm almost certain was a telemarketer call.
Either that or it was the shady as fuck Sissy Spotlight.
When she started speaking Chinese, I lost my mind.
I don't know what it is, but you know what? The answer to that is blueberry. Thank you for asking your question.
How?
Please, thank you for asking your question, Sissy. So, y'all, we just want to remind you, you too can send us your Sissy Spotlight.
And y'all, this week, I'm going to give you a topic. I want to know what's something that you're looking forward to after quarantine, after we got the vaccine, after the kind of world opens up. sometime in 2022. Hopefully sooner than later.
Hopefully.
But and also tell us something talk about something that you wish would stay around, like Zoom meetings or some type of like, I don't know, something from quarantine. Sometimes I love Zoom coachings because they don't have to come down. I don't have to put on or elastic waist pants.
Yeah, there we are.
But
and you are really happy about cybersex. You're making coin.
It's not the same.
Y'all, that's the show.
It's not the same when they pay me in Benjis.
Y'all, that's the show. You can go to You can go to
Reality Gaze.
RealityGazePodcast.com, everybody. You can find us on Instagram at Reality Gaze Podcast, and you can find us on the Twitter at Reality Gaze Pod. We want to remind you, Bling Empire has dropped. We're really enjoying that show. I think we got still to do 3 or 4 episodes of that.
Yeah, I think 3 episodes.
Listen to us on Thursday night at the Crappies. Go to watchwhatcrappens.com for more information on that. And don't forget to leave a 5-star review right now, y'all, because we need it. We changed our name to Reality Gaze, so it helps bump us back up. So if you could just put a 5-star review, and Poodle, if you don't know what to say, what do you say?
Keep going, Queens. And y'all join our Facebook group, our Sissy Squad. Join the Sissy Squad. We're having fun in there.
If you don't want to be in a private Facebook group, we're always at facebook.com/realitygaze, and you can follow that as well. Poodle.
Yes.
We call these people lonely hearts looking for love in all the wrong places. Because aren't we all just lonely hearts looking for love in all the wrong places?
Yes. And if you have IQ greater than 110, call us.